So welcome to the Wellbeing Rebellion. And what I want to do is with the team is just give you an idea, an overview of what the book is all about. Because this book right here, it really inspired all of us to start our well-being journey. And it's the center, it's the focus of what we do and where we approach well-being from. And so what I'm going to do here is just give you a brief overview of what the book is by reading the introduction of the book. And so I'll just go right now. Much of what we think will improve our well-being is either misguided or just plain wrong. Contrary to what many people believe, well-being isn't just being happy, nor is it only about being wealthy or successful. And it's certainly not limited to physical health and wellness. In fact, focusing on any of these elements in isolation could drive us to feelings of frustration and even failure. We're quick to buy into programs that promise to help us make money, lose weight, or strengthen our relationships. Then we spend the next few weeks dedicating our time and energy to that specific plan. Eventually, we give up on these programs when they conflict with our other aspects of our lives. If you've purchased books, watched videos, or attended classes on topics like these, you might have noticed how an intense focus on one area can actually be detrimental to your overall well-being. Just think of how many people dedicate an excessive amount of time and energy to their job at the expense of their personal relationships. It might seem easier to treat the critical areas in our lives as if they're independent and unrelated, but they're not. They're interdependent. Well-being is about the combination of our love for what we do each day, the quality of our relationships, the security of our finances, the vibrancy of our physical health, and the pride we take in what we have contributed to our communities. Most importantly, it's about how these 5 elements interact. What makes life worthwhile? Gallup scientists have been exploring the demands of a life well lived since the mid-20th century. More recently, in partnership with leading economists, psychologists, and other acclaimed scientists, we begin to explore the common elements of well-being that transcend countries and cultures. As part of this research, Gallup conducted a comprehensive global study of more than 150 countries, giving us a lens into the well-being of more than 98% of the world's population. From Afghanistan to Zimbabwe, we asked hundreds of questions about health, wealth, relationships, jobs, and communities. We then compared these results to how people experience their days and evaluate their lives overall. In our initial research, we asked people what the best possible future for them would look like. We found that when evaluating their lives, people often give disproportionate weight to income and health. Across the groups we surveyed, good health and wealth were 2 of the most common responses. Perhaps this is because these things are easy to measure and track over time. We can monitor our height, our weight, blood pressure, and household income. Yet we do not have a standard way to measure the quality of our careers or the health of our relationships. So to construct a comprehensive measure of individual well-being, Gallup designed an assessment composed of the best questions we have asked over the last 50 years. To create this assessment, the Wellbeing Finder, we tested hundreds of questions across countries, languages, and vastly different life situations. Upon completion of the research, 5 distinct statistical factors emerged. These are the universal elements of well-being that differentiate a thriving life from one spent suffering. They describe aspects of our lives that we can do something about and that are important to people in every situation we studied. The 5 essential elements. These elements are the currency of life that matters. They do not include every nuance of what's important in life, but they do represent the 5 broad categories that are essential to most people. The first element is how you occupy your time, simply by looking at what you do every day. That's your career well-being. The second element is about having strong relationships and love in your life, your social well-being. The third element is about effectively managing your economic life, your financial well-being. The fourth element is about having good health and enough energy to get the things done on a daily basis, your physical well-being. The fifth element is about the sense of engagement you have with the area where you live, your community well-being. While 66% of people are doing well in at least one of these areas, just 7% are thriving in L5. If we're struggling in any one of these domains, as most of us are, it damages our well-being and it wears on our daily life. When we strengthen our well-being in any of these areas, we will have better days, months, and decades. But we're not getting the most out of our lives unless we're living effectively in all five. Although these elements are universal across faiths, cultures, and nationalities, people take different paths to increasing their individual well-being. For many people, spirituality drives them in all of these areas. Their faith is the most important facet of their lives, and it is the foundation of their daily efforts. For others, a deep mission, such as protecting the environment, inspires them each day. While these things that motivate us differ greatly from one person to another, to the next, the outcomes do not. There are many ways to create thriving career, social, financial, physical, and community well-being. Because these critical elements are within our control, we have the ability to improve them. For example, exercising, spending more time with friends, or using money wisely. However, the single biggest threat to our own well-being tends to be ourselves. Without even giving it much thought, we allow our short-term decisions to override what's best for our long-term well-being, working against our own best interests. We know that physical activity will improve our health, yet we skip exercising. Missing one workout won't give us a heart attack or cause a stroke, so we let ourselves off the hook for a day. We know that too much sugar and fried foods are bad for our health, but we grab a handful of candy or chips without even thinking. One French fry can't cause diabetes or obesity, right? Similarly, we know it's important to spend quality time with our friends and family, but when work is pressing, we don't stop to ask a friend how he or she is doing. When we think about our personal finances, we often spend instead of saving. Putting money into a retirement plan would yield several times its original value later on, but spending it on an indulgent purchase is so much more appealing right now. With so many options to satisfy ourselves in the moment, it can be difficult to make the right long-term decisions. It is, after all, in our nature to do things that will provide the most immediate reward. This is wired into our DNA for basic survival. For decades, psychologists have described increases in the ability to delay gratification as a cornerstone of human development from childhood to adulthood. But the reality is our short-term self still wins and gets dessert despite objections from our long-term self that wants a healthy body and a long life. For example, when we asked more than 23,000 people about their purchasing habits, only 10% said that they buy candy regularly. But when we asked the same group of people later in the survey if there was a bowl of candy sitting right in front of them, if they would eat some, more than 70% admitted they would. As long as we allow short-term desires to win, it'll be difficult to effect long-term behavioral change. However, we learned from people that the highest levels of well-being, that there is a simple solution to this problem. If we can find short-term incentives that are consistent with our long-term objectives, it's much easier to make the right decisions in the moment. For example, we're more likely to skip a cheeseburger and fries, not when we ponder the long-term risk of obesity or diabetes, but when we consider the short-term reality that devouring it will lead to a high-fat hangover that ruins the rest of the day. Or we might choose to exercise tomorrow morning because we know that just 20 minutes of activity can boost our mood for the next 12 hours. When we can see an immediate payoff, we're more likely to change our behavior in the moment. This aligns with our daily actions, with our long-term interests. So wanting more energy throughout the day, short-term incentive, leads to exercising 20 minutes each morning, a better decision in the moment. And this eventually leads to avoiding chronic health issues, the long-term objective. As we will discuss throughout the book, setting these positive defaults will make even small changes to our daily routines have a major and lasting impact on our well-being. Thriving well-being. In the sections that follow, we will refer to people we interviewed who have thriving well-being in each of the 5 elements. These people had the highest levels of well-being in our entire database. As we learn from those who are thriving, improving well-being in any one of these 5 areas takes work and accountability. But we hope that after reading this book, you will have a more holistic view of what contributes to your well-being over time. This will enable you to enjoy each day, get more out of life in general, and perhaps most importantly, boost the well-being of your friends, family members, colleagues, and others in your community. And with that introduction out of the way, I'll hand it over to Brent.
Thank you, Judd, very much for that great introduction there. And you're an excellent reader, by the way, my friend. So in this book, there are definitions for each of the 5 elements of well-being. And my background is in human resources, and I've worked as a career coach for a long time. So I've taken the mantle of the career well-being. So the definition of career well-being by Gallup in the Wellbeing 5 Essentials of Wellbeing book is many of us work in traditional organizational settings, while others work in homes, classrooms, factories, or outdoors. Some of us are retirees or volunteers. No matter where we spend our time, at a basic level, we need to do something, and ideally something to look forward to. Career well-being is about liking what you do every day. And I would say, actually, career well-being is about loving what you do every day. People with high career well-being wake up every morning with something to look forward to doing that day. They also have the opportunity to do things that fit with their strengths and their interests. They have a deep purpose in life and a plan to attain their goals. In most cases, they have a leader who motivates them and makes them enthusiastic about the future, and friends who share their passion. While you might think that people with high career being spend too much time working at the expense of their relationships, our results suggest that they actually take more time to enjoy life and don't take things for granted. This results in them loving the work they do every day. And now I'd like to ask Gab. Gab, would you please talk a little bit about social well-being?
Thank you very much, Brent. Thank you. I will read to everyone the social well-being part. So here goes. We often underestimate the impact of our closest relationships and social connections on our well-being. However, our well-being is dramatically influenced by the people around us, as well as by our friends' interdependent network of relationships. Some of these friendships help us to achieve, while others motivate us to be healthy. Social well-being is about having strong relationships and love in your life. People with high social well-being have several close relationships that help them achieve, enjoy life, and be healthy. They are surrounded by people who encourage their development and growth, and I love this. Accept them for who they are and treat them with respect. They deliberately spend time investing in the networks that surround them. People with high social well-being are more likely to make time for vacations or social gatherings with their friends and families, and that strengthens their relationships. They report having a great deal of love in their lives, and this gives them positive energy on a daily basis. Thank you. Over to you, Coach Colin.
Well, thank you, Gab. That was a great introduction to social well-being. And maybe social well-being is what makes all the other parts, the other 4 elements of the 5 worthwhile, because we want to spend time with our family and friends. So the next one is financial well-being. Money may not buy you happiness, but it's hard to be happy if you cannot meet your basic needs. Beyond that, the actual amount of money you have has impact on your overall well-being than financial security and how you manage and spend your money. So how you feel about your money, how secure you feel. Financial well-being is about effectively managing your economic life. People with high financial well-being manage their personal finances well and spend their money wisely. They buy experiences instead of just material possessions. And they give to others instead of always spending on themselves. At a basic level, they are satisfied with their overall standard of living. Their successful strategies result in financial security, which eliminates daily stress and worry caused by debt. This financial security allows them to do what they want to do when they want to do it. They have the freedom to spend more time with the people they like to be around. And that circles back to social well-being. Okay. So now over to Ryan, and we'll hear about physical well-being.
Hey, thanks, Colin. So dovetailing off of financial well-being, which I think, as Judd mentioned, is in the top 2 with physical well-being, but let's not forget about everyone else. But we need to learn a little bit about physical well-being, so I'm going to give you the definition now. The short-term choices we make can have a long-term effect on our overall physical health. When we adopt healthy habits and make smart lifestyle choices about diet, exercise, and sleep, we feel better, have more energy, look better, and live longer. Physical well-being is about having good health and enough energy to get things done on a daily basis. People with high physical well-being manage their health well. They exercise regularly, and as a result, they feel better. They make good dietary choices, which keeps their energy high throughout the day and sharpens their thinking. They get enough sleep to process what they have learned the day before and to get a good start on the next day. Because of their healthy lifestyle, they are usually able to do all the things people their age would normally do. When they wake up well rested each day, they look better, feel better, and have more energy. So I'd like to pass over to Judd here for community well-being.
Very well done, Ryan. Great description of physical well-being. Community well-being kind of takes bits of the others, and you'll see as we're describing the definitions of each of these elements of well-being that there's elements, there's the fundamental parts of each of them that are interrelated, and that's how it kind of builds that whole well-rounded personal well-being for each of us. Community well-being. At a basic level, we need to feel safe where we live and secure about the quality of the water we drink and the air we breathe. We also need to have a home that meets our needs and a community we can take pride in. When we get involved in our community and give back to society, it benefits us as well as the recipients of our entire community. This well-doing promotes deeper social interaction, enhanced meaning and purpose, and a more active lifestyle. Community well-being is about the sense of engagement you have with the area where you live. People with high community well-being feel safe and secure where they live. They take pride in their community and feel that it's headed in the right direction. This often results in their wanting to give back and make a lasting contribution to society. These people have identified the areas where they can contribute based on their own strengths and passions. And they tell others about these interests to connect with the right groups and causes. Their contributions to the community may start small, but over time, they lead to more involvement and have a profound impact on the community in which they live. These efforts are what create communities we cannot imagine living without. The positive outcomes of high community well-being may be what differentiates a good life from a great one.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Amen.
So, what can everybody do to have more community within the Wellbeing Rebellion?
Subscribe to us and join the
Subscribe to
Wellbeing
us?
Rebellion.
Contact us.
Yeah.
Feel free to email us, contact us, set up a consultation with one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reach out. We're all approachable. We're all reachable, and we'd be more than happy as individuals to bring you into our rebellion and show you how personal well-being can impact your life in a positive way. Each of us comes from a different background, and we have our own long history of experiences, both in our careers and outside of them, that can help contribute to your personal well-being. And when you contact one of us, you're really contacting the whole team, because as a team of life coaches, we're not individual people. We're actually a team of people that work together as one, and together that makes up the Wellbeing Rebellion.
Actually, I'm going to opt everybody listening to this video into the rebellion. You are already a well-being rebel unless you want to opt out.
Yeah, and just to echo all that, like and subscribe to our video. We have a Facebook page. Like our Facebook page, follow us there. We have a Facebook group that's just getting started, so come and join us on the group. We'll put a notification there, and just generally get involved. There's a lot of people at home who are not maybe a little bit starved of the social side of life because of this COVID-19 and the lockdowns. So we can provide that too. We can provide a community, we can provide a network where you can meet like-minded people and talk and discuss your issues, discuss your challenges, your dreams, and we'd like to help you get there.
Amen to that. That's what it's all about.
Get in touch.
And be sure to leave comments in the comment section below. We always love to hear what commitments you will make to stay well and keep being. And on that note, we love you and thank you very much. Take care.